What's up, everybody? It's Bo here. And hey, did you know that we have a brand new project in the works that we are really excited to share with you? You know, I've mentioned it before. You may have heard about it, but change is on the horizon. And we want to invite you into this world as we lay the foundation for something special. Head over to findeversale.com. That's findeversale.com, where you will be invited into this world by signing pirate articles and joining the crew of the Banshee's Blade. Over the next several weeks, there'll be a little mini lore drops for this project. And yeah, I really think that you're going to enjoy it. If you like pirates, if you like adventure, if you like good storytelling, then I think that we've got something really awesome. But don't wait. Join us now. Get in early. Head over to findeversale.com. That's findeversale.com and join up with the Banshee's Blade today. What's up, everybody? It's Bo here with another She-Hulk TV Talk. Okay, so let's first just have a conversation, okay? Let's all get in group, okay? Everybody just take a seat. All right, I hear that some of you are upset, but right now we need to enter into the circle. This is a safe space to talk about managing expectations. All right, you over there. Okay, I can see that you're very upset because you want some Daredevil. But you need to remember that Daredevil was not promised to you this week. I know. I saw the helmet 2 weeks ago as well. But if you were listening to what we were being, the information that was being provided, as opposed to just wanting to project onto what you wanted to see, then you would have seen over the past several days, Marvel has been putting out a lot of previously on and promotional material about this week's episode that very specifically did not have any Daredevil in it. Very specifically had Blansky in it, which we didn't know we were going to see again in this series, which is kind of a welcome surprise. So, in many respects, maybe it's less about Daredevil and what you want, and maybe it's more about what you need, which is to listen and be comfortable with yourself and the series that Marvel is giving you. Okay, all right, yeah. So, all right, hands up. Who here thought there was going to be Daredevil? Okay, all right, I see a couple of y'all. All right, here's the deal. The reality is that I started seeing some of the promotional material coming out over the last couple of days, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're not getting Daredevil. Daredevil might be later on in the season, might be more like closer to a series finale, which makes sense. Okay, I want to talk about this whole, managing expectations thing. The Daredevil of it all is quite enticing. I don't necessarily need that. I want that. I don't need that, right? Like I was excited about, honestly, a She-Hulk series, and we're getting a lot of good hulkiness in this She-Hulk series. Blansky's return is very hulky. This kind of subplot to kind of get Jen's blood, very hulky. There's a lot of hulky goodness. There's a leader under the surface of all of this. Like, there's a lot of good Hulk stuff. We don't need Daredevil in our Hulk to make it good, okay? She-Hulk is good for She-Hulk, just like Jen is good for Jen. But when they started putting out that promotional material, I immediately was like, oh man, like I'm cool with this, but I know some of y'all are not going to be. So anyway, just breathe. Get in the yurt. Okay, sweat it out. You're going to be all right. You're going to be good. I loved this episode. Once again, another really, really fun episode, kind of self-contained. She goes off to Blansky's farm, where we last left Blansky. He kind of went off into the wilderness and was going to start this kind of, commune, essentially. And it's kind of nice to see that is what is actually happening. I guess I believed him just because the performance was so genuine that we got when Blansky first came back in. But I mean, there was always in the back of my head this wondering of, I wonder if he's going to eventually be a member of the Thunderbolts. We got this big reveal at D23 about who the Thunderbolts are going to be. We got, the big image, and we got all of these different characters. And I remember right after seeing that announcement at D23, man, I'm a little underwhelmed by this. Don't get me wrong, there's some cool characters here, and definitely a lot of characters that need better development than they got in their own movies. But at the same time, from just a general powerhouse of a team, there wasn't, really all that much there, and it needed that something extra. And a friend of mine actually asked, what did you expect? And I guess I didn't know the answer to that question. But what I realized through watching She-Hulk was, I think what I was kind of expecting was there to be Blansky. it seemed as though we were going to get an Abomination as part of the Thunderbolts, given the fact that he is coming back. He is playing, he played a very, cameo role in Shang-Chi. Now we've got this kind of minor role in She-Hulk. Blansky's back, and that's great, but wouldn't it make sense that he might be part of the Thunderbolts? Skip ahead to now. We see him doing what appears to be very good work for some very D-list supervillains in the Marvel Universe. Can't wait to talk about them here in a second. And I almost kind of wonder whether or not Blansky on the Thunderbolts would make any sense. Like, this Blansky on the Thunderbolts would make any sense. I'm a little torn by that. On the one hand, I like the idea of the Abomination back in action and doing so in that capacity. On the other hand, I am really digging this take on Blansky as kind of like this, not necessarily like cult leader, but, that self-help guru, in the kind of self-proclaimed self-help guru, you know what I mean? There's no licensed therapy going on here, but it's fun. It's great. And I mean, let's be honest, where else is the porcupine going to go to get licensed therapy? Like, where's Manbull gonna go to get the support that he needs? Or Alaguila and their codependency situation they've got going on. I loved this group, okay? All of these like D-list / reject supervillains from the Marvel Universe ending up on Blansky's farm working through their issues was fantastic. Absolutely hilarious. And it's a great kind of like amalgam of characters that also kind of speak to where Jen is at, right? Like, Porcupine is obviously the one in my mind that seems the most relevant, right? Because he literally is wearing a suit that keeps people away, right? Like, the moment that he takes the mask off was really kind of sweet. I in the general Marvel fashion, they undercut it with humor. And I mean, the entire thing is humorous, so I can't be too upset with it. But I mean, like, it's a sweet thing. And by the way, that costume, I believe, is not comic book accurate to his original costume, but maybe comic book accurate to his modern costume, or vice versa. He's got a couple of different ones. Like, there's this one that actually looks kind of like a Daredevil suit, ironically, with kind of these bushy yellow porcupine things on it. But then he also has this other one where he wears the green gas mask, and he's got this big brown kind of hairy looking suits with the porcupine spikes as well. So it was awesome to see not just him, but also Alaguila. He's got his comic book accurate costume. Manbull, not as much comic book accurate, but appropriate for what we're dealing with here. I think that's about a budget. That's the budget Manbull. That's what you're going to get right there. But Sarkin is very interesting because, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, but the vampire dude, like, he, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a Blade villain. And I don't know that he's like a D-list Blade villain. He might be more like a B-list. But I mean, but I don't think he's like as down the totem pole as these other guys. And at the same time, I don't think he's really a vampire. Didn't we see him like hanging out in the sun, right? Like, isn't Blade's whole deal that he's a daywalker? So yeah, I don't know about that. I think we might be dealing with like a guy that thinks he's a vampire as opposed to an actual vampire. But I did like his whole like, Jen is great. I'm sure we'd all love to meet Jen and suck her blood. No, I'm sorry, I've gone too far. Oh man, it's just a great, fun, fantastic way of dealing with a very human emotion in a very human situation of being burned or ghosted. Especially after 3 dates. You had the whole 3 date. You did everything by the textbook. Everything seemed to be going well. This was not one-off dude that you wanted to be a meal that ended up being a snack. This was Josh. You met Josh at a wedding. Josh was sweet and nice. And, you went out a couple of times. And I mean, every single time she was kind of like, leaving the door open. And yet, waited till the third date. I'm just saying that it was shocking and justifiably confusing and painful for Jen, especially given the fact it's not about Josh, okay? It's about herself and learning to love herself. And that's really what She-Hulk is all about, right? It's a lot of this is like learning to love oneself, learning to accept who you are, regardless of what ends up happening to you. Maybe your cousin's blood spills into you and you turn into a giant green monster. Who knows? Happens to the best of us. Overall, though, I really like this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. Generally, I like the series. I know that it's getting some flack for not quite being what people want it to be. I don't know. Again, enter into the group. It's okay. This is a safe space to process your feelings. But at the same time, remember that you might have been bringing expectations into this relationship with the She-Hulk series that perhaps She-Hulk the series was not bringing in. And you need to make peace with what we've got. because what we've got is really great. It's a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it. Don't expect Daredevil next week, okay? All of you. I'm looking at, okay, you. Yes, you. Stop it. Stop it. Daredevil's not showing up until the series finale, which I don't think is next week, although I haven't done the math on this. Maybe it is next week. I don't know. Maybe Daredevil next week? Look. In all of the stuff, promotional material with Daredevil, remember She-Hulk is wearing like the She-Hulk costume, and all of these Disney series, like none of them wear the costume until the last episode. So keep that in mind as you try to reset your expectations. That's going to do it for me. I wanted to hear what y'all think. Head over to Twitter, use the hashtag #SheHulkTVTalk to let me know what your thoughts are. You can find all of our contact information and more at tvtalk.fm. Hey, you probably heard at the top of the show, we've got a very brand new project going on at Podastery. Head over to findeversale.com, where you can be part of fun little lore drops that are coming along the way for this new project. I think it's a lot of fun. You like pirates, you're going to like this. You don't like pirates, but you like good stuff, do it anyway. It'll be fun. Trust me, findeversale.com. All right, again, that's going to do it for me, but don't worry, I'll be back in a flash.
Tired of long waits and rushed care at the ER and urgent care clinic? Next time, stay home and let Dispatch Health bring the power of the hospital to you.
I call Dispatch Health. A care team of medical professionals actually come to your house.
They're the same caliber of people that you would see if you were at a hospital or an urgent care.
Dispatch Health can treat most non-life-threatening emergencies.
They can do the x-rays, they can do stitches,
urinary tract infections, blood test, urinalysis, ultrasound.
It's almost everything that they can do at the ER.
You never feel rushed. They're there for you and only you.
I felt like their only patient.
And it costs no more than a trip to urgent care because Dispatch Health is covered by most insurance, including Medicare. See if we serve your home at dispatchhealth.com.
Dispatch Health really went above and beyond.
It's wonderful to have care come to your home.
House calls are back, and they're better than ever. Learn more at dispatchhealth.com.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a Samsung bespoke laundry set, washing and drying a full load in under an hour, making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. Save up to $1,052 on a new Samsung bespoke laundry set at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Offer valid September 29th through October 19th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
New message.
What up? It's Heather's cousin. You dated her in college, or maybe you were just in the same class. Anyway, I heard you bought a boat, my man. Let's hit the water. Oh, and Heather told me you always liked, snacks and stuff, so I could totally bring some chips.
When you get a boat, you also get new friends. Make sure Progressive's one of them, and get coverage today for as little as $100 a year.
Hey, also, I'm a little short on cash, so can you cover the chips? Thanks. I can see why Heather liked you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.